you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Okay, cool.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for asking. Thank you for having me here. Feel free to take pictures, tag me. If there's anything that resonates, feel free to just take pictures. I hope my presentation is able to help you guys and inspire you guys. So yeah. So let's just get started. So I'm Leanne Martins, a York U grad, a lifelong storyteller disguised as a marketer, also known as a multi-passionate creative. If you would have told me at 18 that one day I'd be standing here giving a speech a decade later about marketing, I would have laughed. At 18, I was just a curious kid trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted to do. How many of you guys are still figuring out what you want to do? Let's be honest. Okay, good. Yeah, me too. Back then, and honestly some days, I'm still figuring it out, and that's okay. When I first came to York, I switched programs 3 times. I started in French education because I love track and was pretty good at French. Then I jumped into kinesiology because that's where all the athletes were, and I love sports. Eventually I landed in marketing and communications, but it definitely wasn't a linear journey. Eventually, what got me here into marketing was actually a friend. She knew me better than I knew myself and said, "Have you ever thought about marketing?" I said, "No, what is that?" Because at 18, the only careers I knew were the usual teacher, lawyer, doctor, or engineer. So consider yourselves a step ahead of me. Here's the first big lesson I learned. Give yourself permission to explore everything you're curious about. I feel like I've tried it all. I started in retail, I volunteered as a teacher's assistant, I styled photo shoots and music videos, I worked at physio clinics, I designed clothing for my own brand. I even helped with the Pan Am Games and the Invictus Games. Most of those had nothing to do with marketing, specifically, but every single one taught me what I did and didn't like, and I think that's the important part about when you're trying to figure out what you want to do, just try everything. Even if you're terrible at something at first, the experience moves you closer to what feels right and where you're meant to be. Fast forward to today, and I've spent the last 10 years building a career in marketing with brands like Nike, Decathlon, and Timberland, while also exploring my own ventures in business. But the path here wasn't easy. It took a lot of trial and error, self-discovery, and really figuring out who I am along the way. While I was at York, I worked retail, spent evenings at networking events, I emailed small and large businesses, literally offering to work for free, just to gain experience. But most big companies said no, due to insurance issues, not being a part of a formal internship program. But eventually a small business in Toronto said yes. You just need one yes. That little yes changed everything for me. It helped me land my dream internship with Nike in the Netherlands at their European head office, a process that took me 2 years of persistence, but I made it. Once I had Nike on my resume, doors started to open. That bold move put me ahead of the game because working at a Fortune 500 company will open doors because it signals that you can thrive anywhere, which would have been good to know back then. In my most recent role at Timberland, I wore a lot of hats, overseeing social media, email marketing, the website, wholesale campaigns, sponsorships, influencer marketing, brand events, even creative art direction. One thing I realized is that marketing isn't just numbers. It's about creating a memorable experience and building strong relationships. Who here has heard of surround sound marketing? Show of hands. No worries if you haven't. Basically, it means showing up everywhere your consumer turns with a consistent, memorable story. Kind of like a movie theater where the sound comes from every direction. When it's done well, your brand becomes unforgettable because people experience it from every angle. So in this case, you see it from print, out-of-home billboards, wall postings, and digital, on social media and stuff like that. So here's something else I learned. Your career is rarely one big break. It's a series of tiny, sometimes messy experiments. I've launched campaigns that flopped and events where half the product arrived late. But each challenge sharpened my skills and taught me to pivot quickly, a skill that matters more than any title sometimes. So let me share 5 things I wish I knew when I started. First, your voice and your background are valuable. You might walk into rooms where diversity is still missing, yes, even in 2025. Lean into what makes you different. People need to see themselves reflected in the work we put out. Second, there's no single right path. Marketing has room for analysts, strategists, creators, copywriters, community builders. Whatever your strengths are, there's a lane for you. And you're allowed to change lanes. Mine has changed quite a few times, and that only strengthens your skills regardless of where you end up. Third, data and heart both matter. Learn the analytics, but never lose the creativity and intuition that help a story connect with real people. Because at the end of the day, they're the people who are behind the screens, walking the streets. Fourth, adaptability. Adaptability is everything. Campaigns and events rarely go exactly to plan. So you have to be able to ride the wave, stay curious, and proactive, because sometimes your shipment won't arrive when it's supposed to, even though you ordered way in advance. Fifth, master the foundations and principles of marketing. AI and new technologies will keep evolving, but understanding people, the psychology of why we care, click, or buy will always matter more than the latest app or trend. Looking ahead, marketing is changing very fast. Opportunities are popping up everywhere. If you keep an eye out and act quick, that will help you. Currently, there's experiential marketing, influencer strategy, content creation, AI-driven storytelling. The space is wide open for those who are willing to learn, experiment, and create. So I'll leave you here with 3 questions that I want you guys to reflect on and really think about. What do you love? What moves you? And how can you tell stories around that matter? That's where your power as a marketer begins. And I'd love to leave you with some action steps so you can be proactive about it. Start creating, start asking questions, try different roles, build your own voice, connect with people you admire. Because marketing isn't just a job. It's a way to shape culture, communicate, and truly connect with people. Don't just follow the path, make your own. We need your ideas, your creativity, and your voice. Thank you. Is there any questions, anything you guys are curious about, anything you'd like me to dive deeper into? Yeah.
Can you talk more about like what you did in Amsterdam? Because I've been to that city and it's really, I just want to know more like.
Yeah, of course.
Your accommodations.
So, what specifically, like the job itself,
or
living
like
there? Living there? It's a beautiful city. Very different from Toronto. I find that it's like a small version of Toronto, so everyone's biking everywhere. Like, if you're not biking fast enough, you'll get ringed at. I would say like the venues are way smaller, and it just makes you appreciate a lot of things that are smaller and stuff like that. I found that most people spoke English, which was great and very helpful, but if you plan to live there like long term and work in like a lot of Dutch companies, it's preferred that you like eventually learn Dutch. So that's something that was very insightful. And I feel like when you're there around a lot of people, you start picking up on things. You learn how to say hi or how are you in like their language and stuff. So I just saw it as like a respectful thing. Like, let me learn the basic words to just like get around and stuff. But yeah, it's a great experience. Like, highly recommend if you ever get the chance to. And yeah, if there's any further questions, does that kind of answer? Do you have any other questions?
We have room for one more question.
Okay. Okay.
It's okay. You can go.
No, it's okay. I'll try to answer them quickly.
So
I was just so you were talking about how like that 1 yes is really important, which I definitely agree with, and you said how it was like a small business in Toronto. I was just curious how that small business in Toronto got you that opportunity to work for Nike in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. Right?
So like just having one internship as well as like at the time I was working at Nike at the time, so both working at Nike but also the internship itself in the marketing field then helped me get that opportunity at Nike because they're like, oh, okay, she's interested in the brand, she loves sports, and also she has experience like working within the marketing space, so that in itself helps you. Thank you. Is there time to like answer a few more?
One more question.
One more, okay.